You hand over your card, there's a beep, the receipt prints. And as far as you're concerned, the story's over. Your money is gone. But that's not what actually happens. In reality, the moment you spend money, it starts moving faster, splitting, multiplying, and changing shape. It travels through banks, balance sheets, algorithms, and institutions you never agreed to interact with. And by the time it's done, the system has squeezed far more value out of that transaction than you ever will. This matters right now because most people feel broke even when they're working harder than ever. Prices are up, wages feel stuck, and everyone is told the same thing: budget better, spend smarter, save more. But the uncomfortable truth is this: once money leaves your hands, it stops working for you almost immediately and starts working very efficiently for the system. Let's walk through what actually happens. You buy something simple: coffee, groceries, a phone bill. It doesn't matter. You tap your card. First stop, the payment rails. Your bank doesn't hand over cash. It sends a promise. That promise is routed through a payment network: Visa, MasterCard, a processor you've never heard of. Each one takes a small cut, fractions of a percent, invisible amounts. You don't notice them. But at scale, they're massive. Before the shop owner even sees the money, several institutions have already been paid for moving it. Then it reaches the merchant's bank. But the merchant doesn't get the full amount either. There are fees, settlement delays, chargeback reserves. The money often sits for days, sometimes weeks, before it's fully accessible. During that time, something important happens. The bank uses it. Banks don't store your money in a vault waiting politely. They pool it. They lend against it. They use it as leverage to create more money. Your spent dollar becomes collateral. That's the first uncomfortable mechanic. Money doesn't disappear when you spend it. It becomes fuel. Now zoom out. That merchant uses your money to pay rent, suppliers, wages, utilities. Each of those payments repeats the process. More fees, more delays, more institutions taking a slice. Your original dollar is now fragmented across the economy. And here's where the story gets strange. Because while you're done with that money forever, the system keeps earning from it over and over again. Banks earn interest on loans backed by deposits like yours. Payment companies earn every time money moves. Corporations earn by optimizing how long they can hold cash before paying others. Governments earn through taxes at every step. You spent once. They earned repeatedly. This is why velocity of money matters more than people realize. The faster money moves, the more value the system extracts from it. And the people who control the pipes, the rails, the timing, the rules, benefit the most. Now let's talk about the illusion everyone buys into. You're told spending supports the economy, and technically that's true, but it doesn't support everyone equally. When you spend money, you are effectively handing liquidity to entities that already have scale, leverage, and access to cheap credit. They can deploy your dollar in ways you can't. You lose optionality. They gain it. This asymmetry is the quiet engine of modern capitalism. And it gets worse, because inflation changes what happens after you spend. When prices are rising, the money you spend is worth more to the receiver than it was to you. Why? Because you earned it in older, weaker currency. They deploy it immediately into assets, inventory, or debt repayment that adjusts faster to inflation. Time is the advantage. Debtors win when money loses value. Cash holders lose by standing still, which means when you spend, you're often transferring value from slower money to faster money, from individuals to systems, from wages to balance sheets. Now let's address the hype. You hear a lot about cashless societies, digital payments, financial innovation. Sounds efficient, sounds modern, but what it really means is this: every transaction becomes more trackable, more intermediated, and more monetizable. Cash was anonymous, final, simple. Digital money is none of those things. Every swipe creates data. That data is sold, modeled, and used to predict behavior, pricing, risk, creditworthiness. Your spending trains the system. You're not just buying things. You're teaching algorithms who you are. And unlike you, they remember everything. Now zoom out even further. On a macro level, spent money feeds GDP numbers, corporate earnings, tax revenues, and debt servicing. Governments rely on constant spending to service existing obligations. Corporations rely on it to justify valuations. Financial markets rely on it to sustain growth expectations, which means the system isn't designed to reward saving. It's designed to keep money moving. If money stops, everything panics. This is why central banks step in during crises, not to save people, but to keep money circulating. Liquidity injections, emergency lending, asset purchases, they're not fixing the machine, they're lubricating it. And here's the part almost no one says out loud. Once you spend money, you lose control, but you also lose protection. If prices rise tomorrow, your spent money benefits someone else. If assets inflate, your spent money helped fuel it. If debt becomes easier to service, it's not your debt getting lighter. Spending locks in your position at today's value. The system keeps adjusting without you. So what's the takeaway? It's not don't spend. That's impossible. It's understanding that spending is not neutral. Every transaction is a tiny transfer of power, timing, and optionality. And most people are on the losing side of that transfer without realizing it. Your money doesn't vanish when you spend it. It changes allegiance. The real question isn't where your money goes. It's who gets to use it next, and why they're so much better at it than you are.